Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 27th of September, 2015, and ending Friday, the 2nd of October. We are heading into the fourth quarter of the year. We will be raising our size back to normal size in the Forex market. I've seen enough ranges here over the last week or so to convince me that everybody's back from summer. So even though it wasn't a bad period for us, we still made money. I think now it's a more likely period to do well, so we'll be heading back to full size starting on Sunday night, Monday for the trade calls. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart, and actually here it doesn't look like we did a lot this week. Continued the bounce that occurred last Friday and then stabilized right against that green static trend line. We've not caught a close above that yet. Here's the euro dollar, pretty similar in reverse, obviously, as it usually is to the dollar index. Here's the pound dollar, though. This is an inverted cup and handle breaking down under the lows of the last few months since June. This looks very weak for that, which would be strong for the US dollar. Aussie dollar here, you can see the 13 buy signal a few weeks back, bounced off of that. Here's the pound dollar, pound yen. Not much going on here as well, and the euro yen basically right where it was 5-6 months ago. All right, let's look at the intra-week action here. Here's 30-minute candles. The whole week on the euro dollar ranges from high to low, about 200 pips on the euro dollar, which isn't bad and decent enough. Also, the action intraday was good. We had a downward move Monday, Tuesday, came back a bit Wednesday, even more Thursday, and then back down. So even though it was like 200 pips of range, which is maybe not ideal, we like to see like 300 in a week. We still had a lot of back and forth and clean action as well. And at the same time, the pound dollar, here's that, had about 400, just over 400 pips of range, and all of it to the downside on the pound. So, again, very clean action from that perspective, and good enough that I think we go back to full size and see what happens. We did get stopped out of a couple trades this week that ended up working. That's unfortunate when it happens. Not exactly something that happens all the time, but it wasn't a perfect week from that perspective. Here's a look at the economic data coming out this week. Let's see what we had to focus on. So we've got core, nothing Sunday around the globe, so straight into Monday here in the U.S. We've got core PCE price index, personal income and spending, pending home sales, Fed members talking all over the place. Lots of competing thoughts there. And that's it. So the entire world, it's just U.S. all day Monday with nothing Sunday. Tuesday, German import prices, German preliminary CPI, Spanish flash CPI, UK mortgage approvals and money supply, Italian 10-year bond auction, the CBI realized index out of the UK. Canada's got their RMPI and IPPI. We've got the goods trade balance out of the US on Tuesday, and that is not the usual trade balance number. Goods trade balance. I've never seen that listed before. That is interesting. Okay. S&P Composite Housing Price Index. We've got the CB Consumer Confidence Index 30 minutes into the stock market on Tuesday. Building Consensus out of New Zealand Tuesday night here in the U.S. Consumer Confidence out of the U.K. Retail sales in Japan and industrial production in Japan. And then business confidence out of New Zealand and building approvals out of Australia. Going into Wednesday, housing starts out of Japan, UBS consumption indicator out of Switzerland, German retail sales, housing price index out of the UK, French consumer spending. We've got German unemployment, Italian unemployment monthly rate, current account, and GDP out of the UK. That's the final number for the second quarter. Revised business investment, CPI out of Europe, and unemployment rate out of Europe. That's a big moment right there at 5 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. CPI and unemployment at the same time out of Europe. More Fed members speaking. We've got the ADP non-farm employment change out of the U.S., GDP out of Canada, Chicago PMI, crude oil inventories. Fed Chair Yellen speaks. Wednesday night in Australia, the AIG Manufacturing Index, Japan's Tankan Manufacturing Index. China's got a bank holiday. Then manufacturing PMI out of China, final manufacturing PMI out of Japan. Cakeson final manufacturing PMI and services PMI out of China. 10-year bond auction out of Japan. Commodity prices out of Australia. Retail sales out of Switzerland. Spanish manufacturing PMI out of Europe. Manufacturing PMI out of Switzerland. This is going into Thursday. Italian, French, German manufacturing PMI and the broad European sector as well, and then the UK right behind that. 10-year bond auctions out of Spain and France. Got challenger job cuts here in the U.S. The regular weekly unemployment claims Thursday. RBC manufacturing PMI in Canada, and then the ISM manufacturing here in the U.S. along with construction spending. Natty gas, that's a weekly number. Total vehicle sales from the U.S. some point in time on Thursday. Household spending, unemployment rate, and monetary base out of Japan. China's on the holiday again. ANZ, commodity prices out of New Zealand, retail sales out of Australia. Then you jump to Friday, you've got Spanish unemployment change in Europe, construction PMI out of the UK, PPI in Europe, and U.S. unemployment rate. So that's a big one right there, one of our big three. So we'll be half size ahead of that number Friday. So week starts out very slow, nothing except for a couple of minor U.S. points on Monday, and then picks up. We get a lot of data over the course of the week. The big one in the U.S. is the unemployment rate, that's and the non-farm payroll. That's on Friday, so we'll be half size Thursday. Other than that, it's a normal trading week. We'll go at it like we have been. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you do find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. And feel free to take a trial of our services if you've not already. Have a great trading week.